are you doing? Welcome to Let's Talk Common Sense with me, Mike Omni. Listen, let's not beat around the bush. I am sorry. We are really trying to be consistent, but of course, you have to understand we are trying to navigate an unprecedented. I never thought I would say that word. I mean, you've heard news readers and broadcast journalists. I mean, they've said that word. If I had a penny for every time I heard the term unprecedented, I would be very, very rich. But it's true. It's true. It's true. It's very difficult. We had an illustrious recording schedule that we had planned and penned before Corona hit, and because Corona hit, we've been trying furiously behind the scenes to make things work via Zoom, Skype. So of course, what happens sometimes is we record an episode and then we realize actually this quality isn't good, or we have scheduling issues. Someone who's meant to drive down can't make it anymore. I mean, these things have been happening, and so behind the scenes, we've been trying to navigate a difficult situation. But you know what? I should just say thank you to those who somehow are sticking with us through these tough times. This irregularity, if you like. I think if you just hold on a little longer, we will get to a place where we'll be back in the office. That's another thing we're trying to negotiate, when we can enter our office again and when we can have all our equipment. But in the meantime, my desire and hope is to still keep you up to date with the news. I mean, today we've got a really fascinating interview with a drill artist and producer and record label owner. Just so we can talk about drill music, because it's something that many of us don't know about. We only know what the Daily Mail or the Sun have written about it, and typically that's not very good. So I want to explore if there's another side to drill, but also I hope to hold in the interview about to hear, literally minutes from now, the interviewer accountable. Sorry, I also hope to hold the person we're interviewing accountable. Does drill music actually exacerbate crime? People are saying it's a way out, but is it glamorizing crime? And as we look at the crackdown on drill, you remember June last year, drill music was actually banned, or some drill music was banned on YouTube. And of course, people said that's institutional racism. That should not have happened. It's institutional racism. So, I mean, is it institutional racism? We're going to cover all of that, and of course, some top stories. But before we move on, if you haven't done so, and so we begin the top stories today overseas in America. Just a few days ago, the whole world watched with mouths open as we saw Donald Trump's explosive interview on HBO with Jonathan Swan. In what can only be described, I guess, as the beginning of his presidential campaign, Donald Trump agrees to do this interview with Jonathan Swan, where he discusses things like from Black Lives Matter to the renaming of bridges, and even his handling of COVID-19. And this has been quite odd. In the US, we've seen over 140,000 people die. And so, by any stretch, that's not good. I mean, that's more than double the amount of people who died in the Vietnam War. And so, it's a lot of political commentators have kind of thought to themselves, why the president would willingly take part in this interview, where if you just stayed doing those daily press briefings he normally does, he can control the narrative. But in this interview, I think it's fair to say, irrespective of where you sit on the political spectrum, Trump was royally humiliated. It was a new standard, if you like, for car crash interviews, because if you remember, you'd have seen Donald Trump come with these handouts, or these diagrams showing that the USA was number one, as he said, in the world in terms of how they've dealt with coronavirus. It, of course, became an internet sensation because there was lots of, I guess, gifable and memeable moments. In fact, some people have since edited the interview to show Donald Trump interviewing himself. Ultimately, people are talking about Trump, which we can only assume that was his desire. But it's quite hard to even assess some of the claims he made in the interview, because they're just so. I mean, that's just not serious. He made a claim, for instance, that the USA was doing the best in terms of cases. This is, of course, not true because the term best is odd. In terms of people who are, as a proportion of the population, the US isn't doing the best at all. It's spreading like wildfire. And then in terms of those who are hospitalized and those who die, that's another statistic. And what we're seeing, of course, is your typical bait and switch, which is the president essentially picking, and actually in an odd way, it's very similar to what happened here in the UK. You'll remember that we were really happy to talk about league tables when we were, somewhere like 25th in them. The minute the UK climbed to the top in Europe, suddenly we started talking about, well, let's not talk about the amount of cases. Let's talk about deaths in hospitals. Then when we weren't doing so well there, we started talking about the amount of people who recovered. Ultimately, Donald Trump is willing to change and and do whatever it takes to ensure that the bar chart he shows America is one that shows the US being on top. Now, anyone who's looking at this, who is a forensic person, can see what's going on here. This is the president's attempt, I think, in some part to control the narrative, maybe to confuse people such that they wouldn't know what's true and what's not true. It's really hard to ascertain what he hoped to achieve with that interview, because if anything, it further confused people. And again, it I guess cemented the view that Trump has no clue what he is doing. Now, the second story today, which will lead us onto our interview, is fresh calls by the Labour MP Dawn Butler, who reminded us through a video detailing her interactions with the police that the police system, the Metropolitan Police in the UK, again, is institutionally racist. She says it cannot continue to be this way. Now, what she did is she shared a video of an encounter she had with the police after a BMW she was traveling in was stopped by officers. Miss Dawn Butler and her friend were both in the back when they recorded the incident. The white police officers who stopped them were heard saying that they were carrying out proactive patrols because of gang and knife crime. Now, this is quite odd because a number of things they said. So Scotland Yard then said that what happened actually was that the officer incorrectly entered the car's registration plate. And apparently it was all a big mistake. I mean, it's just so clumsy, isn't it? Because she spoke about one police officer who stepped up to her and they were having a really interesting, pleasant conversation, for want of a better term, and then another police officer came to just exacerbate things, which plays right into the commentary I always give, which is it's really quite odd when I watch those police videos, whether it's in America or the UK, and there's a police officer having an interaction with civilians. It just strikes me as quite eerie and odd. Like, why are police officers seemingly taught to inflame situations? Isn't their job meant to be to calm things down, to bring down the blood pressure of people? They seem to be exacerbating and making things worse. In this case, they obviously picked on the wrong person because Dawn Butler soon messaged Sky News and a host of other media outlets to publicize her story. And now it's being discussed. It's trending on Twitter. Is the UK police force institutionally racist? What are we going to do to solve that? And this idea of trying to tackle knife crime and gang crime, well, how does that lead to stopping the Shadow Secretary in this way? So, with that being said, I want to talk a bit more about knife crime and gang crime and what may be adding to it. Of course, it's not two middle-aged women in a car in a BMW, otherwise going about a nice, peaceful day. But what we have heard in a sustained narrative in the media is that, it's maybe drill music has a part to play in this. And so I want to have that conversation about drill music. I want to find out what it is. I also want to talk to someone who is well versed in it, who lives drill and breathes drill. What is it about this music genre that's drawing so much attention in the media? And is it something that can actually have a positive impact on young people? Let's talk about that now. Now, I'm joined on Zoom by TK. TK is the owner of the organization.
One of three owners.
Sorry, look, I've made a mistake already. TK is the one of three owners of the brand Finesse Forever, and you're kind of like a drill expert in a way, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a music. I want to call myself a music expert.
Right. But I mean, we're talking about drill particularly today. So what's your connection with drill music?
My connection with drill music is that we manage a few drill acts. We've developed drill acts. So that's the connection with drill. Drill's around where I live. Drill is a state of mind. It's a current state of mind that a lot of young people are living in. And that's drill. Drill's music. It's beat. It's rhythm. It's all of that.
Got you. And in fact, I watched an interview that you were involved in not too long ago with a ZZ on the ZZ Mills show, where you talked about drill music for something like 25 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's what piqued my interest, because you were talking about drill, and I guess what you were saying was the interviewer didn't quite understand drill music, and some of the stuff she was saying, you were giving her the truth, as it were, and trying to educate her on drill. So, how do you think that interview went, and what is it you took away from that, her understanding of drill? And I guess, is that something you come across often, what she was kind of saying?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, big up ZZ Mills. I love her show. I love her as a person. I think she's great. The platform that she's built is created a space for a lot of entrepreneurs, people that are doing things to have a platform to say what they're doing and, do you know what I mean, bring that to light. But the only thing I'd say is when it came to the drill topic, she was just a bit ignorant and didn't want to kind of listen to what we had to say. She already kind of had her ideas on, her ideology was set. Do you know what I mean? I feel like she kind of understands drill, but she chose not to. I don't know if she did it for the benefit of the show, for the benefit of the interview, to entertain the viewers, but she did come across super ignorant and rude, innit, in a sense, because she didn't even want to hear out what we had to say. So
okay, well, let me. So I'll try not to fall into the same trap. But
be
pretend. I mean, we just started, so there's probably still time. But pretend I'm an idiot. You know, what is drill music, and what's the problem with drill music?
Drill music is a sound, isn't it? Like, it's the same thing we said in the ZZ interview. Like, you know, an R&B record when you hear the beat, when you hear the vibe. Do you know what I mean? You know a rock record when you hear the beat, because you're just like, it's the sound. Do you know what I mean? All the lyrics is just paint to a canvas, bro. Do you know what I mean? Literally, that's all it is. And how drill got its fame, how it got its reputation, is because people were spitting violent lyrics, violent truths that's actually happening in our society, and they were rapping that and putting it out on the beat. And people are doing that in 2016, 2017. No one was saying nothing until people started popping from it, and then now it's in the news. Now people are aware of it, but it's like, bro, people been getting stabbed up, bro. People been getting robbed. People been suffering in poverty. That's been happening. All it did was expose what's happening in society and show people like, this is what's going on. Do you know what I mean? And you can either sit back, judge it, and say, yeah, this is bad, or you can sit back, analyze it, and say, yeah, it is bad, but all right, cool, what am I helping to squeeze some positive juice out of it? What am I doing?
Okay, so let's talk about that, because that's even watching your interview with ZZ Mills, that was quite interesting to me. You kept on making this point of, well, what about the positive? And what someone might say back to you is, well, it's mostly negative. So when you say what about the positive, of course you can find positivity in anything, but that's a pretty low bar to when we're talking about what we should be celebrating. So if the question is, you know, if you've just said that it started with violent lyrics and most of the conversations around it, or most of the artists tend to still speak violently, but there are some good people who are doing positivity out of it. Do you see why someone from the other side may go, well, hold on, if it's mostly violent, isn't that a problem?
No, there's a balance. But again, with society, what do we like to promote? what do we like to shed light on? Negative. When you turn on the news in the morning or whatever, you're always seeing something negative. You're always seeing something. Someone's getting bombed. Someone's getting killed. Someone's gone missing. Someone's in poverty. Where's all the positive stuff? There's loads of positive people doing that. And this is all wired our brains to always see the negative before we want to see the positive. Do you know what I mean? And it doesn't, I don't care, bro, what anyone says about drill, because we already know what the negatives are, bro. I live life positively. So I want to know and I want to see the positive stuff. I want to see that, okay, cool. Dude was rapping like this. Now he's rapping about accounts. Now he's rapping about giving back to the community, helping his mum. I don't have to trap no more. You're looking at man on Instagram and it's not taking pictures on the block. It's taking pictures on a cruise ship, taking pictures on the plane. He's experiencing life. And that's showing other young kids that you can experience life more than what the block, like more than just the block, bro. More than just going carnival. There's more to life than all that. Do you know what I mean? And drill music isn't just violent. You're getting R&B drill. You're getting gospel drill. Like you're getting all this. Same with hip hop. You can have Christian hip hop, bro. There's a section for that. But people ain't trying to section.
Yeah. But even if you have Christian hip hop, I think most people would say that's not the rule. That's an exception. That's a small, tiny part of it, rather than what the main thing actually is. So
I hear you.
So would you say?
But do you believe in growth?
What, as in?
Do you believe in growth? Do you just believe in growth?
Well, that sounds like a loaded question. I mean,
no, but everything's connected. Like everything's one. Everything's connected. If, for example, your show when you started it, did you have to grow?
Yes. Yeah.
Same with music. Same with drill. Early stage. We're only like a few years deep in this. When you look at hip hop, how many years deep is it, bro? It's still growing. Like, so what drill was even in 2017, 28 was way more gory to what it is now. And what it's going to be in 2-3 years is going to be different to what we're even talking about now, where it's just going to be accepted. It's going to be like, this is great, until the next thing comes. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, we need to start demonizing this. This is wrong. This is negative. This is bad. It's a cycle.
Okay, so I get your point on growth. I guess the only thing to interject into that is, well, you're trying to pull the industry in one direction to profile more positive people, to show that, you know, people used to rap about X, Y, and Z, and now, you know, they're more affluent. They're rapping about other things. Mm-hmm. But what about the people who want to pull the industry in a different direction, and actually they see growth? They don't see growth the way you see growth. And then what someone would say who disagrees with you is, well, that's the majority of the people. The majority of the people are trying to get gospel drill off the tracks. I mean, drill in and of itself, and the kind of the core content of it, what they will say is, well, the core content of it is talking about violence and stuff like that. And what would you say to someone like that?
So, bro, zoned out a little bit. Could you repeat that last bit? So
that's okay. And what I'm trying to tell you is, so you said growth, and you believe in growth, and I believe in growth, and we both agree on growth, right?
Yeah.
However, my point is, you see growth as in one particular direction, which is that we get more positivity into things and more gospel drill, hip hop drill, whatever you want to call it. That's growth for you. But what I'm saying is, what if you're a small exception, whereas most people see growth in a different way, and drill artists see growth as, they don't see it the way you see it, is my point. So does growth actually lead or go in the way you want it to go? Or is growth more and more young people taking part in drill music, living a certain lifestyle because they see it popularized by the artists they listen to? Is that what growth is to people in the industry?
Yeah, kind of. It is. It's a bit of both, I think. The growth is that you're having more and more artists being able to break through for a specific genre every single year, every couple of months. And growth, the way I see it as well, is people are becoming better people. People are giving back to society. When I say giving back to society as well, it's all doing all the legal stuff. They're paying taxes. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, bro. They're giving back. They're realizing they need to do stuff like set up charities. Stormzy's doing that. So yeah, I feel like a lot of people do see the growth, and that's why a lot of people agreed with, or even encouraged us to keep backing and supporting the drill genre, even though we're not a drill label. But no, again, no one was speaking up for drill when it was getting blackballed, and we were just like, right, how are people and platforms putting this on their putting this music on their platforms, and they're not speaking up and defending it, but you're happily taking it. A few labels are happy signing the acts, but what are you lot doing on the forefront? You lot really got the power. What are you guys doing? Do you know what I mean? So we just saw it as like, do you know what I mean? We believe in this. We believe in where it can go and what it's doing for the young people. And it's not about the artists, it's about the whole economy, like the economic system around the music. Like the graphic designers, they get work. All these young managers that I'm seeing now, they come to me, Skills, JB for advice. They're starting, look at, what's his name, Simba. I think the guy's only just 20 or 19, did Rovers on 100 million streams, and that's Spotify alone. His manager's like 19, bro. These lot are doing it way different. Do you know what I mean? And that's making other people think, bro, I need to set up my company. I need to get patterned. I need to read books. I need to, do you know what I mean? And that's why, like, now, before I was a bit confused in this music thing because it's fake. Like now I focus on, like, when I'm on socials, because I know I've got people looking at me. When you look on my socials, I want you to see that man's eating good, like healthy food. I want you to see that, like, man's reading. You can ask me what book am I reading, and when you see me in real life, you might see me with a little bit of glow or whatever, but you know when you're watching me, and it's because.
Sorry, what's glow? What's glow?
A little bit of glow is just like, okay, you see he's driving a car, he might have a FF chain on, he's got a cool watch, or he looks well. Do you know what I mean? Just a bit of glow. He's got very nice trainers. He looks like he's good. Like, do you know what I mean? But when you're looking at the back end, you're like, oh shoot, these are all the ingredients. And I feel like a lot of people don't show key ingredients that help growth, bro. And with the artists that we're working with closely, we're doing stuff like sharing books with them, telling them eat healthy, telling them go gym, do this and do that. I feel like that doesn't get publicized a lot. People just want to see the half-naked girls, the jewels.
Yeah, but I think that's a
part of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just that's a big problem. That's kind of a general issue when we think about music and entertainment, and we probably shouldn't forget that all of this is entertainment at the end of the day.
Exactly what I said.
Positive music is great, but if no one wants to buy it, then it's not going to work, is it? And quite frankly, the drill artists we know about, I'm reminded of last year when the Met. And I was invited to the House of Lords to take part in a conversation about the criminalization of drill music.
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't even know what drill music was, so I had to kind of go online, do a bit of research. And yet, when I typed it in online, the few videos I watched, I was like, no, this doesn't sound good. Mm-hmm. Some of the stuff I was hearing, some of the lyrics, instinctively. By who?
It's vile.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, this isn't, and I'm a musician, so it's not as though I'm like what is this? This just doesn't sound like good music. However, you're saying that there is good music out there. We have to search for it. We have to look for it, and I agree with you. I don't think anyone would say that, everything we know about drill should be from a Daily Mail article. We know there's more to it than that. So, what are some of your aspirations then for this genre? Like, do you think the kind of the government cracking down on drill? Do you think it will achieve what they think they want it to achieve, which is that it would have a positive impact on knife crime, gang crime, things like that? And just so we're clear, because I don't want us to do that thing of, if they criminalize it, if they shut it down, more people will then do crime and stuff like that. Because I actually think there is a solid argument to be made for the fact that some of the more kind of, there's some I heard that was like, how is this even on YouTube? This is someone confessing to murder. Is there a case for that being up? Because I'm sorry, like I like freedom of expression as much as anyone, but I'm like, come on, a song where someone's saying like, I killed this guy and I'll kill him again, and we're like, oh yeah, that sounds all right. What do you say to stuff like that?
I never said it.
Oh,
I never said it. It's not me. He said it because why has he said that? That's something that he's lived in it. He can talk about that. He wants to talk about that. Like, if you wanted to do this and you have your views, I'm not going to shut you down because you got your views.
Yeah, but do you think it's conducive in society to have stuff like that out there?
I think it's real.
Yeah, but is it conducive? Is the question? Do you think it's helpful?
No. I think it's not helpful. It's not helpful. But again, we have to go. I like to look at things from the beginning, or start from the end and go all the way back to the beginning. Like, in the first place, why is man able to speak like that? Why is that only happened over the past 3-4 years? Why was it not like that before? What has gone wrong? How did it become so popular? Where in society did it go wrong that young people are spitting about this now? They're talking about 15 inches. What made that cool? Because the knife thing definitely didn't come from the States. This is why drill is so authentic, and people love drill as well, because it's British. It's a British culture.
What, you know what I mean? Did it start in Britain?
What, drill?
Yeah.
No, but I'm talking about the stigma, like everyone associates. When you hear drill, what does people associate to? And you get knife crime straight away. Knife crime. That knife crime stuff ain't really a state. It's UK that's got this knife issue. Do you know what I mean? Scotland, that's what's got the knife issue. So when that music, because that is attached to the music, it's authentic because that's what's going on. Do you know what I mean? And again, I'm going to say it again. Why or where did it go wrong for people to be now speaking more and more about this? Where did it go? Let's look at that. Why? I'm not thinking about why is it. I'm not thinking, is it wrong or right for him to say that? I don't care. It is wrong. Why is he even speak? Why are we even allowing young people to even rap like that, bro? Why are they rapping like that? Do you know what I mean? But what are we doing to make sure that it's contained, to make sure it's channeled correctly, to make sure that the story and the narrative changes over the next few years? What are we doing around that? How are we incubating that?
Got you.
Who's working on that? Who's working on that, bro? Do you know what I mean? It's easier. Ask her, would you put a drill artist on your show? Let them speak. It's better. It's good us talking about it, but we're not drill artists, bro. Do you know what I mean? We're just incubators for it, in a sense. And Shorty goes, nah, I don't want to have no drill artists on. So they're in the boom. You're not even looking to hear them out. And these are people that are going through stuff. That's why they're talking like that. They're going through trauma and all of that. And you don't even want to hear them out. And that's Zizi represented society. She represented, and when Spill said puppets, which was a bit rude and which she got offended at, but it's true in a sense, because it's like you're saying and you're stereotyping and you're judging exactly how the Daily Mail and all the news platforms put it, bro. Like, you're doing the same thing. You're stereotyping, you're categorizing the same way.
Yeah, yeah, but in a way, I hear you, by the way. Like, some of the stuff you said at the start, I actually agree with. However, the truth still stands, which is that most of the drill artists we hear or we see are what she says. It's the exceptions that are what you're talking about. So people who are talking about mainly majority positive things, we couldn't say here. You couldn't. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we couldn't say here and say that they are the rule. They are firmly the exception. These are the outliers. And so you have to do some work to find them. Like I said, when I typed in on Google.
No, you don't have to do work to find them. No.
So how do I know them? If I'm someone who doesn't
just let people grow. You let people grow. Let people grow.
But what about the damage whilst they're growing? What about that?
The damage is already there because it's a reflection. It's happening before you even jump in the booth. You have to think about it like this again. There's the world without and there's the world within. Everything happens in the world within, then it transpires to the world without, bro. So you're seeing it in the lyrics because that's what's going on in society. So it happened in society, and that created the story, which is now being able to be told on the beat, and which now gets pumped out.
I'm struggling to understand what you mean by the world within.
Yeah, I'm a bit too deep in it. That's a bit too deep. But within is
no, it's not deep at all. I want to understand.
Within within society. That's what's good. That's the within, innit? That's within. And the without, which is the outside, which is once it gets laid out from the heart of someone that's in the society, gets laid out on the beat, on the track, and it gets pumped out now to the masses. That's without. So you're getting a message that's already happened before, and you're just getting the story told, and now it's getting transpired on the beat via music going through the airways for you to listen to and watch a video and whatnot. Everything happens twice. It happens in the mind, it happens somewhere else, and then it happens again.
That's I mean that's very introspective.
It is, because life is simple, but it's deep. But we're always trying to categorize and we're trying to split things up. But everything's connected, bro. It's like where do we connect the dots? Why for something to happen? It's cause and effect, bro.
I totally understand you, and I think this is a great. What you're saying is great for like a nice introspective.
But no period. Everyone, it's nice, but everyone should be thinking more introspectively, because
we should be, but right now. Yeah, you're right. But right now, like, we're talking about knife crime, we're talking about gun crime, we're talking about real material issues on the ground. We're talking about banning music. We're talking about removing some from YouTube. We're talking about institutional racism. There's some real stuff on the ground.
You're a great interviewer.
that needs to happen. So I totally get you, and I agree with that. And I'm a philosophy major, so I thinking and philosophizing is kind of my middle name. However, when we think about just what's happening right now on the ground, we just had George Floyd killed not too long ago. We've seen all the global protests and calls for change, and some people are saying, as the UK kind of black middle class is beginning to emerge, we have to get rid of drill music. What do you say to that?
Sorry, let's start last part again, because obviously I've got another meeting.
That's okay.
After the show, bro. So
no problem at all.
Yeah, I've caught some of it. Just repeat that last bit again. Sorry.
This is the first time on all our episodes that someone has announced their next meeting. But hey, it's always good to have something new. No, it's all good. My point, and we can leave on this really.
Okay.
Is some people are saying, as one of the aftermaths or one of the things that's happened after the George Floyd killings and all the conversations that happen in the black community. Well, what do you say to folks who say, well, the way the black community moves forward is to kind of forget about drill almost, because as a genre, it just can't be changed. You're in the inside trying to change things and moving forward. What would you say to that person who's given up hope that forget about it? Would you say, yeah, fine, or would you try to win them over?
I can't try to win them over. All man can really do is, if you give up, I ain't giving up. If I start something, I'm going to finish it. I'm not going to give up. So me not giving up, I hope all that does is inspire you to get back on the run again. That's it. And even with all this Black Lives Matter, like, bro, it's just like, I don't even want to get into that, man, because I'm not a politician and my views are a bit.
I mean, we would love to hear you. That, I mean,
the UK need that.
We've got some minutes left, please.
The UK need that, bro. But like, even with the Black Lives Matter thing, like, I hear all of that, and I can't lie. I went on the little protest and I'm margin that because we've suffered from police brutality when my brother's got done wrong, and she's seen it firsthand. So she felt like she needed to go and protest in a sense, innit? And I dropped her off. And then I said I wasn't going to the protest, but I said, right, let me just see everyone there. It's in my city, it's in my hometown, and that Croydon. I'm like, cool, let me go over. I went over and I held up a placard saying Black Lives Matter, and I took the picture and I felt a little something. I knelt on the ground for 8 minutes. And then I was reflecting, because I reflect a lot. And I think someone must have said, oh, you're doing well, King, or whatever. And then I was like, what? And then I was like, bro, cool. Man's getting called King. Why the hell did I just post a picture on my gram holding up a placard saying that my life matters? Like, why is my life why am I putting that my life is important on a placard, bro? Like, on a board. For who? Saying help me who? Like, what? Like, we're too stuck in this. And I deleted it as soon as I had that thought, and I looked at it. Like I had to delete that picture. I was like, what? How am I putting up my life on a placard saying my life matters, bro? I know my life matters. I live every single day like my life matters, bro. I get up and I grind in the mornings, bro, to the evening. My life matters. I don't need to do that, bro. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, why are we even as a society, as a people, even begging for handouts, bro? Like, this wasn't built by our people, so why are we expecting handouts? Why are we expected to be treated equally? Nah, bro. Like, for example, you got a business, I got a business. We will hire all people. Like, we've got different people within FF, white, black, Asian. But when I see someone come to me for opportunity and a lot of people's black, I'm going to be looking at them like, yeah, I want to bring you on. Why? Because you look like me, bro. It's not no racist thing. It's just like, you want to help your people. And with a lot of societies, systems and whatever, they're just helping their people at the end of the day. And the way we've been set up, unfortunately, because of slavery and whatnot, we're so used to just feeling like, oh yeah, but like, can you include us? Instead of us just building together, bro. Yeah. Like, even apart from this interview, I wanna have dinner with you and chop it up and see what your actual plans are and see how we can actually connect. Like, that's, do you know what I mean? Like, we should be just trying to connect, bro. And I've been living life fake for bare year. I've done everything. Do you know what I mean? I've done everything. And COVID's really helped to bring things in perspective and make me think, oh yeah, like, I need to just focus on what's actually important, because you've done it all, bro. You've done the girls, you've done drugs, you've done sex, you've done all of that. Do you know what I mean? You've done trying to be cool or whatever. It's like, what actually matters now? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that's helping your people that's being oppressed, or just not even having a way out. How can I help my brother? And what am I doing for myself? How am I trying to leave a legacy, bro? Man's not going to be here forever. And now I live with the intent that I'm not going to be here. So what am I doing? What am I doing to leave a legacy? How am I doing?
What a load of questions to start a Monday afternoon with. I mean, you're right, by the way. I think you're absolutely right. These are questions we have to ask ourselves, and I bet listeners did not think they were going to be challenged about their legacy when they clicked onto this episode. And there you go. You're saying things that's important to think about, and you know, we've got to keep the conversation going. I mean, what can people look forward to, I guess, from you? Just so you know, they can, and listen, for someone who does want to explore drill music, where do they begin?
Where do they begin, man? I think begin with just listening to people that inspire you in the right way. Yeah, look for people that come out of negative situations and they're putting out some sort of positive message. Look for the people that are consistent in what they do. It's not choppy changey. Put out a consistent message, which is positive, not in the glossiest way, but draw some inspiration every single day. Like that way, you need inspiration. Look for inspiration, because that's what's going to help your music. You're going to be able to talk about a wider variety of things. Do you know what I mean? And include it all in one to connect everything, like tie it up. So imagine if you were reading a few books, you'd be able to put like what you've learned in a few books and tie it up with stuff that you see on the streets and stuff like that. Or if you're eating well, do you know what I mean? You're able to tie that in. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just mixing it up. And I feel like we just don't have enough inspiration. Do you know what I mean? And inspiration is like a candle, bro. Got to keep that lit. Keep it lit.
And on that note, we'll wrap it up there. But thank you so much, TK.
It's been great, man.
It's been educational for me, and I'm sure for people listening as well. They're learning new things, and that's what it's all about. So thank you very much. And
I appreciate you, man.
I'll leave you to get to that all-important next meeting of yours.
Yeah, it's with YouTube still.
Do your thing, man. Enjoy your day.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Bro.